An introduction to the method of scaling. My name is Fred Dodson, and I developed scaling about 15 years ago, and have since used it with great success. Scaling is a method of reducing negative self-talk, negative beliefs, negative inner programs and conditions, and moving upward toward better self-talk, better beliefs, better inner programs. So many of you have heard of positive thinking and the use of affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements with which people try to reprogram their mind, reprogram their belief system, so they'll keep repeating certain statements such as "I'm rich" or "I attract wealth," or "I'm athletic and healthy," or "I'm making positive choices in my life," or "I love and approve of myself," or "life is a gift," or "everything is getting better every day," and so forth. We're all familiar with such self-talk, and that often works, and often it doesn't work. And scaling will teach you why it doesn't always work. So, if you look at this picture, here's a woman saying, "I'm amazing, I'm slim, sexy, and rich." And even just looking at it, you might have laughed. And you laughed because you can feel the incongruency between the woman and the statement. So it would seem that the statement is a few levels too high for her. And that's where scaling comes in. Scaling would recommend to scale down a little bit and to find a belief or a statement more in the vicinity of who she is right now. Because if she reaches too high, if she goes to a too high of an energy level, it's going to be self-defeating. First of all, it's not going to come true, and she's going to feel guilty about it, and she's going to be deluding herself. So there are a lot of people that I've met who use affirmations and positive thinking, but they're also in a little bit of a delusional state because they're not experiencing anything of what they're saying. Why not? Because their subconscious no longer believes them. They keep saying things that are obvious lies, things that they obviously don't believe, and as they keep on repeating those things, the subconscious just keeps learning, okay, what you say is a lie, what you're saying is a lie, what you're saying is a lie. And they keep saying, "I am rich, I am rich, I am rich," and the subconscious keeps saying, "Liar, liar, liar, liar." And that's one reason affirmations don't work, because they're not close enough to what you already believe. Now, if this woman really, really believes that I am amazing, I'm slim, sexy, and rich, then that's exactly what's going to happen. She can make it come true within a fairly short time, but chances are she doesn't believe that. Chances are that she's putting something positive over a already existing negative belief. And if she didn't have an already existing negative belief, then she would not ever have developed a body like this. So there must be some belief that I'm overweight, and probably a few clusters of beliefs, hundreds of beliefs probably, that would have to be accessed and dissolved before rapid change can occur. So this woman is having the self-talk, "I'm a failure, I'm too fat, and I'm a loser." And as you can see, that's also incongruent, just like the picture before was incongruent. But I've met many, many slim women who have this negative self-talk of being too fat and being a failure and so forth. Very good-looking and successful women. So, whereas the previous statement was too high for that woman, this statement is too low for this one. And if she keeps on going with that kind of self-talk, she's going to change and transform into something less beneficial into something worse. So there's too high and too low, and actually all negative self-talk is too low, unless you're really did something bad or committed something bad and feel guilty about that. Most negative self-talk is too low for anyone. And you don't deserve to treat yourself that way, you see. Your words have power. Your words have energy. Your words create reality. Your thoughts, words, and actions create reality. So these are examples of scaling thoughts. This is the method of scaling. So if you begin at the bottom, you begin at I'm a failure, I'm too fat, I'm a loser, nobody loves me, I'm so ashamed of myself, I don't know what to do anymore, I've given up a long time ago, I don't want to live anymore, and so forth. So you begin by deliberately writing down or speaking or creating the lowest level. By deliberately creating it, you take control of it. And it's easier to let go, and it's easier to squeeze out the emotions that are stuck in that. So you kind of get into the first level. I've only mentioned one sentence here, but it's actually longer. You get into it until the emotions are squeezed out of it. So, yeah, I am so obese, I'm so ashamed of myself, and there's absolutely no way I can ever get out of this. I've tried everything. I've been to doctors, I've tried exercising, I've tried eating less, but I just can't handle it. I just can't do it. Maybe it's genetic, I don't know. It's just impossible. And then you take that thought, and instead of going to I am slim, sexy, and rich, which is way too high, which is too much of a stretch and can break you. Too much of a stretch can break you. Imagine trying to jump on a train that's going too fast. What's going to happen? It's going to repel you and you'll get hurt. And that's exactly what happens mentally if you go too high. You just go one level higher. So, for example, the statement here is, okay, I am overweight and unsuccessful in life, and I'd like to improve myself. Okay, so instead of I'm fat, it's I'm overweight. Instead of I'm a failure, I'm unsuccessful. Instead of I'm a loser, I admit I would like to improve myself. I've been feeling quite bad for the last few years, and I'm not finding any relationships. I'm not finding the proper job being this fat. I feel lonely and alone. And you write this way or speak this way until the emotion that accompanies that arises and thereby releases. You squeeze the lemon, is what I call it. You squeeze out the emotion, you allow the emotion out. You allow it to come up. Once that's happened and you feel stable at that level, you just go a small level higher, and you might go to a level 3. Often I do this with 10 levels, but here I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, which is also okay. Well, it's time for me to wake up and get going, to improve myself. I would like to improve myself. And it's going to take a lot of hard work, but I'm willing to go through with it. I'm willing to experience whatever I have to experience and go through with it, no matter how hard it is. I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to require sacrifices. So this is the hard work level of consciousness. Instead of jumping to I am slim, sexy, and rich, why not start slow with that level, with a level you can believe? So in most cases, it would be a huge improvement if the woman from the first picture stops at this level for now and just gets used to this level. The level of restraint and doing without certain foods, the level of hard work, of sweating, of going to doctors, getting examined, getting a consultant to help her, and so forth. She could go on with the exercise and scale the thought even higher, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend that in one session. If it's that big of an issue. If it's a smaller issue, you can go up the whole scale in one session in 10-15 minutes or even less. But if it's a huge issue, then you want to learn to focus on and stabilize, say, level 3 first, you see. But if you would go to level 4, that might sound like, well, day by day I get a little healthier, prettier, and more abundant. And I'm grateful to have a chance to experience real improvement. And you just repeat that statement and repeat it until you stabilize at that level. You see, that level is much easier and much more feelable than I am slim, sexy, and rich. That's not the case. So day by day I get a little healthier, prettier, more abundant, and I'm grateful to have a chance to experience real improvement. So the woman on the first picture might want to hang that statement up and repeat it every single day, and in time she will see real improvement, because as you change your thoughts, reality gradually changes. It really does. It's all in the mind, and the mind requires reprogramming if you're experiencing something you don't want to experience. And then finally, once that level is stabilized, that could take days or weeks or months, she can get more courageous and go up to I am slim, sexy, and rich. So once her body really has dropped 20, 30, 40 pounds, she can start saying that and going over to that. So I could make this scale much longer, and each point should be focused on a little bit longer, but these are examples so that you can just go ahead and use it for yourself. Now, the other woman would go the same path. She'd start at the bottom, and she could probably go up to level 4 because she's already in a healthy and pretty state. So neither of the women are worse off because they're both in a delusional emotional state. One is saying, I am amazing, I'm slim, sexy, and rich, while she isn't, and the other is saying, I'm a failure, I'm too fat, and I'm a loser, while she is not. So that's a very similar state of delusion there. And they're probably both not feeling good about it. The thing is, and as I've already explained before in other presentations, when you make a conscious statement, you operate from the conscious mind, which is the surface of the ocean, and that disregards all the subconscious thoughts you already have, which make up the rest of the ocean. So the movement that needs to occur is not only at the level of the conscious mind, but in the subconscious. And that can only be done if you first squeeze out and discover and become aware of the negative beliefs you already have, and then target statements that your subconscious is willing to believe. So changes in the subconscious are much more powerful than conscious statements. If you just make a conscious mind statement of, I am slim, sexy, and rich, it's not going to last for long because the subconscious is still operating. What about the rest of the ocean? You can learn more about the scaling method in my book, Illumination of Consciousness. My name is Fred Dodson. Thank you for attending this mini workshop.